Hey guys, welcome back, and I'm continuing to pay tribute to the king of rock guitar here, Mr. Eddie Van Halen. I've just started a playlist. This is the second video in the playlist, so it's going to keep growing over time. So make sure, and when you navigate to my YouTube page, look at the playlist, and there should be a Eddie Van Halen playlist there for you guys. Okay, so this is Aint Talkin Bout Love, and I'm tuned to E flat for this, as most of the Van Halen stuff is, to one degree or another. If you try to play along with the albums, they're slightly off from E flat tuning, but in our case, I'm just tuned to E flat. So here's my low E string. Okay, so you're just going to tune your whole guitar a half step down to play along. I would like to refer you to the description box down below, and there is a free download for the tab for this. And what I'm doing here is basically showing you the intro riff and the solo. Okay, so there's some other parts, and I even played a little bit of the next riff after the first riff on the video, and maybe I'll go through that a little bit, but mainly I'm showing the cool intro, the unmistakable, once you hear it you can't unhear it, that great riff with the flanger on it, the Ain't Talkin Bout Love riff, and also the solo, which, you know, by Eddie standards this is pretty simple, but there's genius in simplicity with Eddie. He just knows the right stuff to play in the right situation. So this is a great tune to learn. If you haven't learned it before, make sure and check this out. Okay, and I also like to refer you in the description box to my free sweep picking guide. If you're into players like Yngwie Malmsteen, Jason Becker, Michael Romeo, players that use some of the sweeping and stuff like that, you're going to want to check this out. It's my free gift to you. It's got some really cool exercises and sequences and things like that that you can really take and work on and develop your sweep picking and then apply it. There's a jam track and some information on how to apply the theory behind these arpeggios that you're working on. So make sure and check that out. Sweep Picking Bootcamp down below. All right. So let's get going on this. The riff is really based on a simple A minor to F to G chord progression. And I read an interview some time ago where Eddie was saying that he thought this was just too simple. And I don't think he was planning on using it. It ended up being a super big hit. So now I don't have any flanger on here, so I want you to be able to hear all the notes, but when you're playing this, add a little flanger to this and you'll get that authentic tone. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to arpeggiate the A minor chord, and again I refer you to the tab if you have any questions about the notes, but we're going to start with the A string and then the second fret on the D string. Then we're going to skip over to the first fret on the second string, and then the second fret on the G string. So, and you you can hear the mute there. Then we're gonna, that's our A minor section. Now we're going to an F chord. And by the way, I'm alternate picking this. You could try different ways of picking it. Alternate picking seems to be the best way for me to do this. But when we go to the F, we're going to play the high E string, then the first fret E string, which is your F note, and then the first fret on the B string, and then the second fret on the G string. Okay, and we're muting all that. There's various degrees of muting on certain notes. You can play around with that too. I like to mute certain parts more heavily than others, but just have fun with it. Okay, so that A to the F section would sound like this. Okay, and then we're going to move to the G chord. Now, we're just going to play on the high E and the B strings here. It's going to be the 3rd fret on the high E and the 3rd fret B. And then we're going to go all the way to the G on the low E string. Okay, and then the little motif that keeps repeating is 3rd fret A string, and then 2nd fret A string, and then hammer on to 3rd fret. Hopefully that makes sense. So the A minor to the F to the G, and here it is slow. Notice there's a really heavy vibrato on that. Okay, and I'll show you the next part since we're here. We're just kind of strumming on an A minor chord here. And you go to a G chord. The rhythm is kind of like... I like to hit the accents. But there's a little bit more going on. It's hard to hear. There's a lot of reverb on the recording. Okay, if you just get that much, you'll be fine. So A minor to G here. And I like to play this G with my thumb. You can play it like this if you want. Or leave off the 2nd fret on the A string. Play it this way, just make sure and mute that A string with the underside of your thumb. And then you're going to play open E. And kind of mute the low E string and go. There's actually a low E that comes in right before the G. So if you listen, if I play this slow. Right, so there's a little bit of a foggy area here, and I'm sure Eddie would play it, slightly differently, as far as just adding those low E's in there and whatnot. So the idea is to get the feel for this and then just play and have fun with it. And there's our little 3rd fret to 2nd fret back to 3rd fret again. There's a little note climb. If you got a whammy, it's 5th fret, and then you dip with the bar. So up to the 7th fret. So 5th fret G string, dip, 7th fret hammer on, dip, up to 9th fret, dip, dip, up to 12. I suppose you could play it here. The 2nd string, First fret, third fret, fifth fret, eighth fret. I like it here. And then you're back to the... Okay, and so I'm cutting this last little lick a little short because what I've done is combined the riff with the solo section, which actually comes later in the tune. But to kind of meld the two together, I'm sort of cutting this last note off. So all I'm doing here is just bending up 7 on the G string a whole step. Okay, now when we get into the solo, it's being played over the... It's being played over that. So we're just playing right out of the A minor scale, but really it's just A minor pentatonic, but there's the high E string that's ringing underneath it. So you kind of hear... You kind of hear that low, the high E, sorry, that's ringing. And the notes you play on the B string are 5th fret, 8th fret, 10th fret, and 12th fret on this first run. Here's what you do. So it's slide from 5 to 8, then from 8 to 10, then from 10 to 12. And add a little whammy here at the top. The second run, there's a little bit of a tremolo pick there, from 12 to 13. So what you're doing here is all the way up to 12, but now you're going to add 13, back to 12, and then slide from 8 back to 5. So the whole pattern without the tremolo thing. If you just wanted to do that, that would sound cool. Again, I'm sure this is something that's just kind of added on the fly, the little tremolo picking thing, or Eddie was very whimsical with his playing. He might play it, you know, totally different as far as the little nuances and things like that. So what you want to do is just get the basic notes and then kind of play around with how you articulate it. Okay, those are the first two. Then our last climb. Okay, now we're going to go 5 to 8. Whoops. Up to 8 to 10. Up to 12, and then right to 13, and then to 15, and then back to 13. So check it out. I'd probably use my index finger until you get to the 15th fret. So okay, and then you're gonna, when you get to the 15th fret on the B string, you're going to pull that off to 13. You're going to slide 15 up to 17. And then 17 up to 20. Okay, and then from here, you're really not worried about getting that high E string in there. You're not really hearing that. So if I play this run right up to the last little pentatonic flurry, we're going to do this. Let's see, let me try it with just my index finger. Okay, a little slower. Okay, even this is a little bit tricky, right? You gotta kind of think about what fingers you want to use. And the last run is... So this is 4 times. You're gonna play 17, hammer onto 20, pull off to 17, and then play, that's on the B string, and then on the G string play 20. You do that 4 times. And then right before you do the pull off to the open string, you're going to play 20, let's see, You're gonna play 17 on the B string, and then you're gonna play 17 and 19 on the G string. Bend that up a whole step. Pull, release, pull off to 17, and then pull off to the open. So it's and then dive bomb with the bar on the G string. A little faster. Okay, and a little slower. And then you're back to that. Okay, so let me do the whole solo section for you slowly. And a little more up to speed. All right, have fun, man. It's a blast playing this Eddie stuff. It's just there's so many great riffs, and we'll continue adding to this playlist as we go along here. So if you have any requests for Van Halen stuff, riffs, licks, solos, things like that, let me know, and I'll try to get to them. Leave a comment below. Make sure and grab the tab and also the free sweep picking guide, Sweep Picking Bootcamp. I'll see you next time. Rock on!